I loved it. All right, everybody. So if everybody can see my screen, I can see a few of you at a time. So I hope that everybody's able to see what we're doing today. So welcome back to Good for Violence Social Perspectives. Today's lesson is going to be Combined 3 and 4, Feelings 101, and Effective Communication. So I'm going to give you a heads up that you're going to definitely need a piece of paper and something to write with. So bring that out now if you don't already, and we will begin. Okay, of course, it's already not behaving itself. So let me get back to the previous. Okay, and okay. So our emotions work as feedback system to help us evaluate ourselves, our relationships, and experiences. So it can be tough to express them or identify them because we don't want others to judge us. So emotions can be sometimes overwhelming or confusing. And I just want to say, don't ignore them. Even, the quote bad ones, they're not actually necessarily bad. All feelings are feelings regardless. Some make us feel good, some make us feel not so good. But they do affect our ability to make decisions, and you'll see as we're going through how that works. All right, so this is your first activity. So what I'm going to ask you to do is write down all of the feelings. This activity is called The Struggle is Real. And you're going to write down these feelings. I've already actually done the activity for you, my personal ranking, but your ranking will be very different probably from mine. So write down these particular feelings. It doesn't have to be necessarily in an order, but so we have the feeling of anger, we have frustration, which is, oh, I can't do it. No, frustration. Envy, sometimes envy and jealousy are the same thing, like you want something that someone else has. Joy, hopefully it's self-explanatory. Loneliness, the feeling of being by yourself. Sadness, embarrassment. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell that word to save my life. So that was like constant spell check for me. Embarrassment, 2 R's, 2 S's. Guilt, when you feel bad about something that's happened and you kind of blame yourself for that. Worry, fear, and love. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to rank 1 through 5. 1, as you can see, my little orange one means I can handle it. Okay, so I put 1 for joy because I mean, I can handle, give me as much joy as possible. I can handle that. I put, loneliness as my number 2. I can kind of deal with being alone or, just be by myself. I put embarrassment as like the middle, meaning I can sort of handle it, but it's not really impossible for me. Number 4 is guilt. I always feel bad about something, even if it's somebody else's fault, I feel guilty about that. That's something I have to work on. So I put that as number 4. And then sadness is number 5. I'm a crier. I cry at everything. I cry at commercials. I cry at sad movies. I cry if somebody's cat died. I am a big crier. So sadness, it's not that it's impossible for me. I do and have been able to handle sadness in my lifetime, but I always feel bad. And, sometimes about, especially when other people are sad, that just makes me cry. So for you guys, I think I've been talking a little longer. So if anybody would like to just share, if you're brave enough, your ranking, or if you'd like to put it in the chat, you can also do that as a feature too. I'll be checking the chat. But what is it? What's what is your, instead of like maybe ranking, what's your number one? What's the thing? What's the emotion? You type it in the chat. What's the one thing you can handle pretty good? I see people say love, joy. Good. You know, sometimes people, I kind of feel like weirded out about love. Sometimes they can't handle, you know, feeling love from someone. Joy. Good job, guys. Okay. All right. So what an embarrassment. All right, Kayla, good for you. You can handle being embarrassed, which some people can't. What are some things that you would say would be like, that's something that's impossible for you to handle? And this is just, again, it's all personal. It's something that it's for you would be different. Sadness, guilt. Good. Okay. Good, good, good. It's an envy. Ah, embarrassment. Good. Okay, good. These are all good ones because, you know, again, feelings are, you know, make us human. And what are those feelings? So, okay, let me give you a situation. You've been so jealous of your friend lately because he really knows how to talk to people. People comment on how well he listens and he seems to care about the person he speaks to. What is your envy or jealousy telling you and what healthy action could you take? A, you can recognize your admiration for your friend's skills and decide to develop and practice your own. Or B, you recognize your need to accomplish something and set your own short-term goal. So when we think about this situation of jealousy, what would speak to you? And put that in the chat. Would you A, recognize your admiration and decide to brush up on your speaking skills, or would you B, recognize that you need to accomplish something and set your own short-term goals? Remember, we talked about goals last time we spoke. So A or B. Let's see if anybody feels what. Oh, I see a lot of A's. Good. Yeah, it was so funny in high school. Like my friend was a great joke teller, and I'm terrible at telling jokes. And I admired him so much for being like the life of the party. I was like, let me practice and see if I can like be a good joke teller like my friend Jeff. I really wasn't, but I tried. All right. So, and again, envy, a little envy makes you know, us improve on our skills. All right, so again, another situation, you feel incredibly sad lately because the person you've been dating for over a year is moving out of state. What is your sadness telling you, and what healthy action could you take? Okay, so these are two healthy actions we're going to talk about. A, would you cherish the moments you have together and make the most of it? Or B, you may need to spend time talking to a friend and then doing something fun to distract you. So you as a person, if you're dealing with sadness, how would you deal with it? Would you be an A person, cherishing the moments and sucking it all up until they go away and making the most of a situation? Or would you be B, talking to you know, another friend and trying to distract yourself from the sadness? Oh,
you wanted me to unmute.
You can unmute if you want to and share A or B. Asai, what do you think?
I will say B.
Okay, awesome. I see a lot of A's. Sadness means you cared. I like that. A. Okay, great, perfect. And when we talk about this, sadness can make us sensitive to the idea of loss and make us appreciate our relationships. All right, last one, feelings. You're anxious to show off your jump roping skills in gym class. I apologize, this is after lunch, so you might be a little grossed out by this. You start jumping, but suddenly those tacos you had for lunch aren't sitting well. Once they come up, your stomach starts to feel better, but you realize everyone is laughing at you. What is your embarrassment telling you, and what healthy action could you take? Would you say, no one's perfect, you'll make mistakes, but you'll survive? Or would you have the attitude, accept that you can't undo embarrassing moments, laugh with others, and add this to your list of quote funny stories. So you can unmute yourself if you want to and say, would you do A or B? How would you, like, what healthy action would you take in a very embarrassing situation? Anybody have any thoughts about, I see people are thinking about this one. I might just like slink off and hide and just not show my face for the rest of the day, but that might not be the healthiest action to take. But I think I might do B. Takita, I agree with you. I think might do B. And I would say B too. Yeah. Be like, funny story.
Either laugh about it or cringe.
Exactly. So you'd be like, guys, remember that time that I was jumping rope in gym class? You know what I mean? That story. It might be a little funny moment. I don't know, maybe. All right. So own your embarrassment, cringeworthy moments make us humble. That's all I have to say about that. All right. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to write down on your piece of paper this word bank. This is the next activity. So these are the words you're going to be working with. So contempt. It doesn't sound like that when you see it written that way, but contempt, it is kind of like, ugh, look at her, like that, just like looking down at the person. Anger, you've got anger, we've got surprised, and that could be a good surprise or a bad surprise. Embarrassment again. We've got disgust, meaning like, ugh, gross, disgust. Happiness, I hope we all know about that. Fear, it could also mean scared, frightened, fear. Confusion, be like, I don't get it. So that's confusion. Amusement, which I actually had to look up myself because I was like, what is that? What does amusement mean? Amusement means like you're mildly happy. Like you're looking at something and it's like, I like cat videos, like of like funny, like cats doing funny things. So I'm amused by cat videos. They make me kind of chuckle. Boredom, we all know about that. And flirtatious. So flirtatious meaning like, when you're interested in someone, you can be a little like what I call sassy, bold, if you will. You guys got it all? I hope everybody has their word bank. I'm assuming that you all had time, unless you want to stop me right here in the chat. Everybody's good to move on. All right. I'll give you a moment because I know that some of these words are a little longer. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You should have 11 words in your word bank. Everybody's cool. Everybody's good. All right, we're moving on. All right, you'll see what I mean when we're doing this activity, because I'm going to show you a feeling and you're going to guess how this person is feeling. So you got your word bank. How is Natalie Portman feeling? And you guys can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. Oh, I see fear. So Kayla, good guess. Anybody else want to guess? Kind of take a look at her. You've got some tears. Because this is going to be what we're going to be leading into, which is body language and really kind of like looking at the face and seeing how people are feeling based on what they're looking like. So you can't see here. Sad. I see a lot of sads. Anger. Worried. Okay. Yeah. You know what, Naja, I kind of see all that. And Naja, I also see anger too, just by like the stern look on the face. But this feeling is actually sadness. Okay. So it's important also not only to look at the way people are feeling, facial expression, but the way that their body is, how they're, you know, it could be worried, could be like they're holding their head, you know, hands in their head, head in their hands. So there might be more going on than just like the crying and the tears. Good job, guys. All right, this guy, how's he feeling? Type it in the chat. You can unmute. Anger. Okay, Derek's got it. Anger. Lena, good, good. Abigail, good. Yeah. This guy's talking to his flip phone, obviously having a very strongly worded conversation. So anger is definitely how he is feeling. Good job, guys. All right. How are you feeling? Which feeling would this be? It's very funny. I couldn't find a real person for a picture, but I can find it in an emoji. Flirtatious, flirty. Good job, guys. Yes. As you can see, she's like winking, you know, at somebody. So she's feeling a little flirtatious. Good job. All right. How's this guy feeling? Happy, happy, smiley, amusement. Okay, good. Okay, all right. Happy. Good job, guys. Yep. You got happy. Happiness. All right. This is from one of my favorite movies of all time, Pretty Woman. If you remember the scene where, you know, Julia Roberts goes into the fancy Beverly Hills store and these two ladies look at her dressed in the way she is wearing a very, very short skirt and a very tight, revealing top, and disgust over it. Yes, Tanaj, a Pretty Woman. Yes. Confused. I would say that could be, Kayla put contempt. Very good. Yes. Disgust. I like all those. Surprised, confused. Like, what are you doing in this store? Good job. This one happens to be contempt. So this is the, like, how dare you walk into this fancy store when you're looking the way you're looking. So they're kind of like looking down on her. Good job. All right. How's this guy feeling? I hope you can guess. Disgust. Okay. Casey, Melina, Derek. Good. Confused. Amani, you said confused. Yeah. Kind of looks, you kind of probably have to see the whole, you know, the bigger picture, but this is definitely disgust. Good job. All right. So how is this woman feeling? Fear. Good. All right. Fear, scared. Good. All right. Yes, she's feeling fear. Good job. And fear and surprise are definitely interesting. You can actually sometimes feel more than one feeling at the same time. You can go from, like, you know, anger to sadness, you know, surprise, or to fear, or fear to surprise. You know, there feelings, you know, there's a whole range of feelings that we can cycle one to another very, very quickly. Good job. All right, next one. So how is she feeling? Worried? Good. She's kind of looking at her notebook and kind of like has her hand in her head and kind of like, Good. Confused, upset? Good. Abigail, yep, you got it. Confused, confusion. Good job. All right, so how's this guy, little guy, feeling? Bored. You guys got it. Boredom. All right. And the next one, how is this guy feeling? I think we have one more left. And yes, it is surprised. Good job, guys. All right. So when we think about how we're, I'm sorry. I do have a few more up my sleeve here. So how is this person feeling? She's got her hands kind of covered over her face. We've got a few more. Oh, we had 2 more left, actually. 2 more left. You should probably see it. Thank you for spelling embarrassed correctly. She could be a little scared. It looks like, if she was doing another thing with her body that might have, like, she would have been cowarding. You might be able to see like her whole expression. It could be situational. Like if she's at like a haunted hayride, if she was doing this, I would think that she would be scared. This is embarrassed. And the last one, how's this little one feeling? Amusement. Okay. I couldn't find like a real good amusement one, but I think that this kind of like sums it up. It's like this baby's looking like, you're making me laugh, but I'm not gonna laugh for you. I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction. You're just amusing me, by doing something funny. Good job. All right. So tell your score, guys. I want you to, be honest. Did you get 10 to 12 correct? So your ability to interpret emotions is impressive. And tell me your score. Tell me like how many you got like right. I want to see. Oh, 9. Lewis, good. Awesome. Melina got 10. Good job. 8, good. So 7 to 8 or 7 to 9, your ability is definitely average, which is great. I think that's normal for most people. And if you got 0 to 6 correct, you got to keep practicing. Because when we interpret someone's emotions by reading their facial expressions, your relationships are stronger and you'll be able to respond appropriately. Body language is and reading, people's emotions are super important, not only in relationships and friendships, but they're also super important in the workplace. You really have to, and you'll see as we go further, that the reason why it's important to understand and to be able to read people's emotions. All right. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So this is effective communication 101. So this is an activity called Mark My Words. And the phrase is, I didn't tell your crush you were in love. So you'll see how different, if you even just focus on one piece of that phrase, I didn't tell your crush you're in love, how the meaning is so different. I'm going to go through each one, but I just wanted to see how it can be interpreted just based on a simple sentence. So if you emphasize, I didn't tell your crush you're in love, meaning someone else told them. I didn't tell them, someone else told them. Or you can say it, I didn't tell your crush you're in love, meaning I really didn't tell them that you're in love. You can say something like, I didn't tell your crush that you're in love, meaning I implied it without saying anything. I didn't tell your crush you're in love means I told someone other than your crush. I didn't tell your crush you are in love. I told your crush someone, quote, someone is in love. Or I didn't tell your crush you're in love, meaning I may not have used love, but maybe the word like. So you can see how, again, a simple phrase can mean different things based on which word is emphasized. So this is sometimes how, words get misinterpreted. So you want to make sure that you say what you mean and, there's no confusion. So nonverbal cues like tone of voice and intonation communicate thought, mood, and attitude. Body language and nonverbal send the true message. so I'm going to, oh, that was so fun. No, that's okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you a video. This is called 6 Bad Body Language Behaviors to Avoid. So this is all part of the job interview process. And I hope everybody can hear it.
When you enter an interview, it only takes a few seconds for your interviewer to form their opinion of you. Throughout your meeting, it's important to keep in mind that an interview is not long enough to really get to know someone. As a result, your body language in that first meeting is a key indicator of your personality for your interviewer, and they're relying on the nonverbal cues you send to make their assessment of you. To be sure that you're sending the right signals, avoid these body language behaviors. Many people often don't realize when they have a seemingly bored or unapproachable expression on their face. As a result, be mindful of how you're responding to your interview.
I'm sorry about that. I'll get back to.
Interview, it only takes a few seconds for your interviewer to form their opinion of you. Throughout your meeting, it's important to keep in mind that an interview is not long enough to really get to know someone. As a result, your body language in that first meeting is a key indicator of your personality for your interviewer, and they're relying on the nonverbal cues you send to make their assessment of you. To be sure that you're sending the right signals, avoid these body language behaviors. Many people often don't realize when they have a seemingly bored or unapproachable expression on their face. As a result, be mindful of how you're responding to your interviewer and put in extra effort to be sure that your attitude is portrayed in your facial expressions. Never underestimate the power of a smile. Your handshake is commonly evaluated by interviewers, and it can say a lot about your temperament. While a weak handshake may imply that you're a more passive person, a handshake that's too strong may prove that you're too aggressive. To show assertiveness, keep your handshake firm and brief. When your arms are crossed, it can give the impression that you're too tense or closed off. By opening your arms to the side or placing them in your lap, it will appear that you're more willing to engage in a conversation with your interviewer. While it's a common habit, slouching makes you appear unengaged or simply lazy. To prove that you're interested and ready to work hard, pay extra attention to your posture, and be sure that you're sitting as tall as possible. Additionally, you can sit forward in your chair to show that you're absorbed in the discussion. If you're unable to keep eye contact with your interviewer or glance around the room too often, it can imply that you're bored or that you aren't listening. By keeping a consistent, focused gaze on your interviewer, you can show them that you're paying close attention and that you understand what they're communicating to you. Throughout the interview, letting your mind wander may result in unintended fidgeting. Signals like scratching your head or checking your watch can make you appear anxious and uninterested. If you're prone to subconscious fidgeting, try to channel your energy into hand gestures that show your passion and interest in the subject.
Okay, so I hope that was helpful to you guys as far as that little video about the do's and don'ts of interviewing and talking about body language. So we're going to move on to communication 101, and we're going to practice a little bit about assertive ways of speaking. Has anybody heard of assertiveness before? The word assertive? I hope that it has come up in conversation. You'll probably see it when we talk about being aggressive, passive, and assertive. So let me jump a little bit forward into this piece, and then we'll kind of backtrack if you need questions answered. And feel free in the chat if you want to say something. All right, so you are at an interview. Just think about yourself. So you're at an interview for your dream summer job. When the interviewer asks, "Why should I hire you when you don't have any work experience?" So again, so what do you say, and what is your body language look like? So again, I'll have to probably describe what assertive means. So when we think about assertive, I think about it as like firm but fair, a way of speaking that is not, aggressive, which means like very in your face and, very harsh, even like, your voice is raised, you seem, very combative, you come in with like the crossed arms. So that might be an aggressive way. A passive way could be, as described in the video, like, kind of like looking down at the floor, like speaking in a very soft voice, so that the interviewer is not able to understand you or to hear you, kind of like looking around the room, like checking, of course, you should never have your phone in an interview. You should always put that away, but, checking your watch or checking your phone. So that's a very passive way. So I want you guys to think about and just kind of like maybe jot down, if you're at an interview for your dream summer job, when the interviewer asks, "Why should I hire you when you don't have any work experience?" Put it in the chat too. What could you say, or what does your body language look like based on being assertive? Standing up for yourself. What does your face look like? How does your body, look when you're sitting in that chair? So just type in the chat, like, Kayla, great job. I'd say everyone has got to start somewhere, and I'd like to start here and list some of my positive qualities. Excellent. That's great. That's great. You can say, "I'm responsible. I always show up to work, for anything on time, school or otherwise. I take my responsibilities seriously. I, am willing to learn. I'm open to new ideas." So talk yourself up. You are your best advocate. Great. So what else could you do or say? What about your body language when you're sitting in that interview? I would say I'm a fast learner. Good, AC. I take my job seriously. Excellent. Anybody else have any ideas as far as how that, again, you're probably just coming into this job. You have, your resume is blank, but you might have some of those qualities that maybe perhaps that they're looking for. And it doesn't matter if it's a job for, for anything. It could be for fast food. It could be for a shoe store. It could be, for any, job that you're starting out for. I would say I adapt to certain changes. Good, Hanaja, good. Yeah, I applied when I was your age for a job at a restaurant, and I had no restaurant experience. So, they kind of looked at me like, they're like, "Well, have you ever waitress before?" I'm like, "Nope." But I said, "I'm willing to, to learn. I'm open-minded. I'm friendly. I'm a quick learner, and I'm a good listener." So I just kind of sold myself and they hired me for, and I worked there for like 10 years. Sales, good. Yeah. So aside, like, sell yourself. You can make the sales go up. You'd be an asset to the company. Great. All right. Again, facial expression, eye contact. we always, dismiss eye contact. And I know sometimes that could be a cultural thing that, some cultures frown on direct eye contact. So you kind of have to feel, as a way of like, it feels a sign of disrespect to stare to look somebody in the eye. So you have to feel out the cultural aspect of it, but facial expressions should be neutral. You could have a smile on your face, maybe you can nod, good eye contact, sitting up in your seat, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, not being distracted by anything else that's going on, and just really focusing on the speaker. Good job. All right, next one. Say something in an assertive way. You are on a date. Sorry, I put date twice. You're just on one date at the movies. And this has happened to me actually more times than I can count. The people behind you are talking and you can't focus on the movie. Some of you would be like, it's no big deal. It happens all the time. I just deal with it. But we want to be assertive. We don't want to be passive. We don't want to just like, let's deal with it. We want to be like, it bothers me and I want to do something about it. And in a non-aggressive way, please. What do you say? What's your body language look like? And what's your facial expression? So you guys can unmute yourself if you want to share what you would do. Has this ever happened to you before? Have you dealt with this exact same thing? What did you do? Do you regret not doing something? Or do you regret doing something that maybe you think about later and be like, that wasn't the best way to handle it? So how would you, okay. So smiling, asking them to be quiet or go somewhere else to talk. Okay, good job, Kayla. Exactly. So, just turning around and saying, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to listen to the movie. Could you guys, please keep it down? Or maybe perhaps you'd like to go out in the lobby and speak there, not to disturb. It's hard to hear in this theater. Good job. Anybody else have any other ways that they would handle themselves? I've seen people be completely rude and be like, annoyingly so to people behind them, which is not a great way to handle it because then they get mad and then you have this tension the whole movie time. So that might not be the best way to handle a situation in an assertive way. So again, facial expression, body language, we want to be assertive, and we don't want to, of course, lead to any violent situation, anybody's feelings hurt, but we want to make sure that we express ourselves so our feelings are known. All right, next one. Okay, so here is just a little bit about, I think this is actually our last slide for today. And I want to get, kind of break it up into, I'll get out of the screen and then we can kind of see each other and we can talk more about active listening. So active listening 101. So here's some of the important details. And if you'd like to, jot down this information just so you'd have it, that'd be great. I know this is also being recorded, so you can always check back on this. But here's some of the key points to really think about when we're thinking about active listening. So active listening is basically where we are focused on the speaker. Our body language is a very neutral. Our arms are down by their sides. As you can see, I'm a talker who uses my hands a lot. So I literally sometimes have to sit on them. I don't know if there's any other people out there that have, that are very expressive with their hands. I've been accused of that. So I have to keep them, remind myself to keep them by their sides. Sitting up tall, really looking somebody in the eye, engaging with them. You can do like a head nod. I know sometimes, in this world of COVID, being behind a mask it's very tough for me because first of all, sometimes I can't understand what somebody's saying. So I have to say like, I'm sorry, can you say that again? Which is very embarrassing. And also I can't see their like the bottom half of their face. So I don't know, are they smiling? Are they like frowning? Like, you know, so body language during COVID is like definitely a challenge. So you have to think about facial expression, even like expressive eyes, like if their eyes go up, maybe like they, you know, you said something that was interesting or surprising to them, you know, your body language should be, you know, very focused on the speaker. Again, head nodding, doing okay, like to acknowledge what they're saying. Sometimes even with active listening, you repeat back, and you'll see as we go forward what the speaker is saying. So what I hear you saying is, that could be another phrase you can kind of throw in there, just to make sure that you're really catching what the speaker is saying. If we were face to face, you guys would be like practicing this together. So I had to say, like, you know, maybe go like back to with your family or with your friends and like try some of these skills out. You'd be surprised how your active listening will improve when you use some of these strategies. So number one, I let the speaker finish talking without interrupting. Okay. Think about the last conversation you had. Did you interrupt at all? Be honest. Did you say, oh, no, but. I make eye contact with the speaker. So think about that. Again, last time you had a conversation, was there good eye contact, or were you staring at your phone the whole time? That could be very annoying for the listener, because then they feel like she's not listening to me, or he's not paying attention to me. Especially, I hear this a lot with parents and kids. Either either mom's on the phone and you're trying to speak to her, and it's like, mom, are you listening? She's like, I'm listening, but she's really not listening. She's just, kind of on her phone. So that could be frustrating for you guys. Leaning in towards the speaker. I'm not saying leaning in like you're like on top of the person, but of course with a safe 6 foot distance. But leaning in means just like, like engaging your body. So it's not like slumped back in your chair. It's like kind of sitting up, leaning a little bit forward, just to acknowledge what that person is saying. So think about that. Do you lean in? Do you block out or eliminate distractions? Sometimes, especially in a job interview, if you're interviewing in a place that has a lot of business or people are coming in and out, are you looking around at who's coming in? Are you trying to, are you distracted by what's going on, or are you focused on, the interviewer? I saw an interview being conducted in like the Dunkin' Donuts. Like the manager was sitting there with somebody who wanted a job, and it was like people were coming in asking for coffee and donuts, and and this person, I totally was like, I was like looking over, and they were totally focused on what the manager was saying. They weren't looking around to see what else was going on. Do you ask clarifying questions? This is super important too. You have to acknowledge what you know and what you don't know, and don't what I call assume. Because you know what they say about assuming, it makes a ASS out of you and me. Okay, so when you assume something and it's incorrect, it comes back to bite you in the end. So asking clarifying questions when you don't understand something, so what I hear you saying, or do you mean that? Those kind of questions are super important for active listening. All right, so paraphrasing what the speaker is saying to make sure that you understand. So what I hear you saying, or even asking, when you said this, did you mean this or this? So understanding what the speaker is saying. and using affirming gestures, like what I said, like the head nodding, the smiling, you know, again, even the eye crunches if you're wearing a mask, you know, just like kind of like doing that when appropriate. I wouldn't say do it all the time, but just, you know, do the head nod, the head tilt, just acknowledge. And the last bit of advice for active listening 101, only offer advice when you're asked. Some people like to, what I call, put their 2 cents in. And sometimes that can be appropriate, but sometimes that can be really super annoying. So only if your friend is talking to you and they have like a problem or situation and, you know, they're asking for your advice, I would say give it to them. But if they're not asking for their advice and they just want to be heard and they just want to get something off their chest, just be there as a active, good friend. Okay, so I'm going to end my slideshow for today. And I hope that I'm going to stop sharing. All right, guys. So does anybody have any thoughts, feelings, comments, questions about today's presentation, about feelings, communication style? What's your communication style? How many would say they're kind of, and no judgment. How many lean towards more of a aggressive personality? Somebody who's kind of, you know, you kind of have like a little bit of a in your face. Does anybody want to admit, even if you want to? Okay. All right. We have one response about, you know, anybody else have any thoughts about having an aggressive style? Anybody here passive? Anybody here like Tamara, I see your hand up. Yes. So I have to tell you guys that very much so. Okay, Melina, good. Yeah. You guys are right on the mark, because I've been doing a lot of like, you know, programming over the years, and they're saying a lot of teenagers, most teenagers are actually not aggressive. You would think that most teenagers are like, you know, I don't care, whatever, you know, they have this like big bravado, like they're like, you know, you can't hurt me kind of thing, so I'm gonna hurt you first before you hurt me. They're more passive. Teenagers like don't like to speak up for themselves. I have 2 teenagers myself, and I'm like, well, why don't you say something? Or why don't you, you know, tell them that you don't like that, or, you know, speak your mind. And you know, they don't want to say anything. They don't want to cause problems. They don't want to have, you know, rifts in their relationships or friendships. So, Melissa, did you raise your hand? Did you want to say something?
I was going to say the same thing. I was so surprised, like when we go somewhere, if their food wasn't right or they didn't like it was cold or anything was wrong, they would always just take it. And I would sit and I'd say, well, you're the customer, you can send it back. You know, you can order something different. One time my daughter was like mortified. She was sitting there with her head down, like, I don't believe you're making me do this. And I made her send her food back because she ordered something. She thought it was one thing. It came and it was different than what she expected. So I said, just tell them. And she was just like, no.
Right. Exactly.
I did it for her, and I showed her how simple it was. So now she's like, you know, she does it all the time now. But
exactly. And that's what we do. We as adults, we have to model that behavior, because, you know, most of you know, teenagers, I guess, would say, like, they would just be like, oh, I don't want to cause problems, or I don't want to call attention to myself. You know, just because you know, it can be embarrassing, or it can be, you know, people are looking at us, you know, God forbid, I'd like anything happens where it's like, you know, you have the attention on you when you didn't ask for it. Now, I mean, sometimes you like the attention, and, you know, our social media kind of, it reflects on that. But Tamar, you say like embarrassment is definitely the biggest emotion for teens. Like, oh my gosh, like, you know, my daughter had her 16th birthday last week, and it was like, Mom, don't have the person come over to our table. If you have anybody come over to sing, I swear. You know, they were like super embarrassed. Like, does anybody else, like, if you guys get that way too? I agree. Yeah, Hanaja, like, I'm like, I get it. Like to have like that, you know, that attention might not be the best thing. So yes, teenagers are very passive. Teenagers, you know, you guys, just, you know, have to understand that sometimes you got to speak up for yourself. You got to, like, you know, you got to be assertive. You can't let people walk all over you. And you have to speak your mind, even with, like, you know, like sometimes grades and teachers. Like, I know that some people are very intimidated by their teachers because they have a lot of, like, quote, power over your grades. Tamara says, I don't like to go out to dinner on my birthday because my mom gets people to come out every time. I know. I think your mom secretly likes embarrassing you. But totally, like, you know, if you got a bad grade in something, or you feel like you didn't deserve that grade, and you'll just be like, you know, whatever, who cares? That attitude is going to get you nowhere. I would say, you know, try to be assertive and be like, you know, Mr. Smith, you know, I see that I got a grade of this on this, you know, science test, and I feel that I deserved this grade because, you know, maybe some of my answers for the fill-in, you know, essay were, you know, I made some very good points, and I don't know if you missed it. So that kind of thing. So I would say, like, it's super important for you guys to, you know, kind of understand and to really to speak up for yourself. So Melissa, you have your hand raised. Did you want to say something?
I love this because this is one of the topics I really wanted to discuss.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it a little bit more further down in the program, but that being assertive is so important. And I know my daughter, we had a three-way conversation with one of her teachers one time because she went to the teacher, and I taught them to do that, to advocate for themselves. Teachers are human. They make mistakes. College professors are human. They make mistakes. Bosses are human. They make mistakes. So because somebody is in power does not mean that they have the right to just have all the power. You know, you have to advocate for yourself, as was said today, assert for yourself, and recognize that you have a say in what happens in your life. And if you sit back, you really only have yourself to blame. And I know a lot of times we've been talking about that internal locus and external locus of control. Mm-hmm. Well, the external is blaming. My teacher doesn't like me. My boss doesn't, he treats everybody else better. My coworker is jealous of me, whatever. It's always pointing it externally, the reason why something is happening. And what we want to do is get in the habit of finding an internal locus of control, finding a way for us to take responsibility if we do something wrong, but also for us to take responsibility if we need to see something change.
Definitely.
And having the courage
mm-hmm.
to do that. Even if sometimes you got to get a buddy, a friend, another adult, like we talked about, make a connection with someone and take them with you to just, you know, give you some support. They don't have to say anything.
Yep.
Tamar's mom, they don't have to say anything, but you can, like, kind of take them, say, okay, Mom, I need you to sit out in the hallway, sit in the car. I'm going to go in, but I might, you know, just having you here around close by would be helpful. You know, do something like that, but learn to speak up for yourself, because otherwise people will, and trust me, they will. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't purpose. They'll take advantage, or they mm-hmm. just won't even see you because they know you're the one who won't say anything. So we're going to throw it on you, and that's not what you want.
Nope, not at all. So thank you guys so much for today. Next week is actually all going to be about, you know, taking that form of communication and really putting it into action, into practice, with dealing with those unruly coworkers, or that boss that, you can't stand, but you need the job. What are you going to do? So I want to thank you so much for today. You did great.
Thank you, Adrienne. These are wonderful topics. I'm so glad that you're here to reinforce a lot of some of what we're hearing may sound repetitive, but that's because we recognize from our own experiences, from our own children, we recognize from others how important these topics are. We want to really bring them home for you. So it's 1:25. All I can say is please be sure to fill out your trip form if you want to go on the trip. Fill it out even if you don't want to go, just so I can know you didn't miss it. Because you have there's an option on there to say, I can't go, or none of the above, or something like that. So just fill it out, and then that way I know you got it. If you owe me assignments, we need to talk, because you're going to have a lesser pay on Friday, and rather than wait till Friday, I'll send it to you, Asaya. Rather than wait till Friday, I want to have a conversation with you before, so you know what to expect. So if you're a person who I've been communicating with that you owe me an assignment, if you have not heard from me, then you don't owe me anything. If you've heard from me and we've had this discussion, then you owe me an assignment. I have the text to verify, so don't say, well, I thought I didn't owe you anything. No, we've had conversations. And so if you know you have not given me what you owe me, then you need to call me or text me. We need to make contact so that we can have a conversation. Okay? So we're going to end a little early today. I'll send out the follow-up. I will do my best to post the videos today, but it might be tomorrow morning. So I have your number. I've been talking to you.
No, you be texting my mom. That's my mom.
Okay, well, that's the number that you submitted. I asked for your number and your number. So I will make the change.
Okay.
Okay, you can always communicate that to me, but thank you. So everybody else, feel free to have a great weekend. Have a great night. I got a little distracted. Have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow at 9:45. Thank you. Bye, AC. AC's our new student. She started today and she did great. I saw her inbound, jump right in.
Yes, she did great. She was participating all over the place.
Bye, Dominic.
Okay, I'm going to make sure. So I don't have nothing to do, right? I don't have no missing assignments or nothing.
Text me. Because
Okay.
I don't have my information in front of me. I gotta get I have it on a chart. So my memory is not that great. But text me and I'll double check.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Okay, Amina forgot to take off her other phone. Take okay. So where are we? Everybody's here? Good. Okay. So thank you guys for today. It was a test in technology, but I think we did well. It looked like everything was going well. When I jumped in the room, I said that the session was recording, so I assume, but I'm just not sure where it's going to go. If I don't get it with my other ones, I'll reach out to you to see if you have, if you received it. And then I'll just go ahead and edit and put everything up on the YouTube page. If you have anybody reach out to you that wants, I know with Elect, your students are able to access the YouTube page too. If you share that link with them, if there's a particular workshop that you think would be good for them to view, to get some education hours, then you can use the YouTube page too, okay? Any questions or any feedback?
I have a question. It's not in reference to today.
Okay. What's up?
Are you going to be at the office tomorrow so I can pick up trans passes for
Yes.
Friday trip?
Yeah, I think I'll be there I'm going early, so I'll be like at 9 tomorrow.
Okay. How can I work this? Because I'm assigned tomorrow. and I want to pick them up tomorrow so I can have Wednesday and Thursday to distribute because they live in different parts of the city.
Well, let's see. Art, when he was assigned, the same thing happened to him last week. So he just had to bring his laptop into the office and sign on from the office.
Okay.
And then, like, if you see that we have a lot of staff on the call, then you can just message me and let me know, and maybe we might not even need you to stay so you can make the trip. But it's only 2 people that are signed up. Other people do pop on. So if we have enough staff for tomorrow, then it's possible that you don't have
And
to.
you leave right at 1:30?
No, I'll probably be there until I have a meeting. I have some other stuff. There's so much going on right now.
I can come and pick it up after we finish it.
Yeah, I can wait for you.
Oh, that'd be great.
All
Because
day.
I'll leave right after we finish it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll be there.
Okay. That's
All right.
it.
I have a question. What time is the zoo on Friday? Because, I signed up for all the Friday trips.
Okay, good. We have, I'm asking them for 11:30. I think that's what they gave us. She called me during this morning to confirm everything. She didn't say anything about us not getting it. So I'm thinking it's 11:30, but I'll confirm as soon as I purchase the tickets when I get off of here.
Okay, so should I drive down there or ride the bus with everyone else?
Oh, we don't have a bus.
Oh, all right, it's public transportation. Oh,
It's like they got to get there on their own, and we just meet them there. So I'm driving. It's up to you how you want to get there, whatever works for you. We probably, pay for parking and fence it.
okay.
Anything else? And I think we're gonna stay. So if they give me 11:30, I'll do like 11:30 to 1:30, 2, something like that will be the time that we should stay there. But then they have the option if they want to stay. I think they're able to stay. Once they get in, they can stay as long as they want to. So, but we only are going to chaperone till like 3 hours. I think that's what the time said. I'll find out 3 or 4 max hours, the same amount of time we would be on the video, like 3.5 hours.
Okay. Are we providing lunch
Yes.
or just snacks or?
Be lunch. It'll be a Wawa sandwich, a bag of chips, and a drink.
Okay.
That's at every Friday event. We'll be providing that. Same.
Okay. And the students will get they pass when they check out, correct? To go back home.
I have bus passes with me, so if they need, if they're getting there and they need a pass to go back, yeah, I have a pass to have 2 trips so they can go back home and also come back to the next trip if they want to.
Oh, okay. Oh, so with the 2-day pass, well, let me get the wording correct. With the 2-trip pass, I always thought you have to use it the same day.
No. For the transfer aspect of it, you have to use it within a certain amount of time, but it's worth 2 trips regardless of when you use it. So it includes 2 trips, and each trip you can do up to 1 transfer is included. So if they're riding and take 2 buses one way, that's one use, one trip. And then if they're riding again, they don't have to do a transfer, but they can do a transfer. That's because Concept changed it last summer when we were all in lockdown. So
that's when the change came about. Oh, okay.
They added the transfer last year, so you don't have to pay for that. That's included now. But so they can ride it. They should be able to do everything they need to do to get back and forth, unless they're taking 3 and 4 and 5 buses. And then when you can talk to me if you have somebody that needs more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to be good. Thank you, Saida. Stay warm. All right. I don't know where my hoodie is. I like your hoodie. I forgot about that hoodie. All the hoodies and t-shirts.
That is cute.
I think I got a stain on mine, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, we got this like
I got
4
the
years
blue,
ago.
the blue
Yeah,
one,
we
I
got
think
it
I
4
blew
years
it.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just packed mine away.
I need to take it back out because it's cold in that building. When you come in the arch, make sure you bring
Really?
Well, art never gets cold, but I get cold in that building. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have. I'll let you know how it went with the breakouts. That's probably how we'll do it. career sessions are usually Tuesdays or Thursdays. So just I do send out the agenda every day. So you can take a quick look at it just to see what's going on. So you'll have an idea of what to expect. So you should have gotten the one. Whoever's on for tomorrow should have gotten it if you're not here. I send it to everybody. So you can always just take a look, even if you want to have students pop in. All right, so let me go tell people how much they're not getting paid.
No, seriously. I mean, how much could you say? You are not getting paid.
Not getting paid. I mean, I have to be like so firm because I think there's some people who think they take my kindness for weakness and just because I'm working with you, but it's not fair when people make an effort to come and sit and be engaged for the whole time that everybody will get the same pay. They're getting $10 an hour to basically turn on their Zoom. I mean, you can't ask for a better deal than that. So
way to be assertive there, Melissa. Assertive.
$140 a week they're getting paid. So
that's right.
It's their first week of getting paid. So we'll see how it goes if they come back next week. But
all right. Good luck.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you.